So as you are coming into our moon practice, hi Carla, hi Kristen, hi Tina, hi Mama, Ramona and Anna, hi. So we're starting in Supta Baddha Konasana, so lying back over bolsters, pillows, blankets. Supta Baddha Konasana is lying on the earth with the heart open and the soles of the feet together. So allowing yourself to roll back, and you can do that however you want. So you can even just lie over a blanket and bring the soles of the feet together, maybe put some pillows underneath your thighs. So lying back on the earth, and this is one of our very common moon poses, because the lunar energy is about receptivity, right? The moon takes the light from the sun and reflects that for us as she moves around us, and that's the dance we see. So Supta Baddha Konasana is very much about that. We're opening the hips, the heart, the belly, we're opening the throat, we're opening everything, but we're very supported, we're very yin. So we're going to begin this practice, this new moon, but slightly already moving into the energy of the next sign. And we're going to just connect to that quality of rest and surrender and flow. Because both the Aquarian energy and the Piscean energy, the fixed air and mutable water, are associated with sort of the higher energetic centers, sort of the higher consciousness. And as we are moving into the Pisces cycle, solar cycle, so just let yourself settle in, start to deepen the breath. I'm just going to read a little bit about this new moon from one of my teachers. So we had the new moon exact yesterday at 11:07 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And even though, as I said, the moon has already shifted into the next sign, we're still feeling this new moon energy. And this particular new moon energy is kind of everywhere. By now, it's obvious that we are in a cycle of disruption. There has never been a more important time to find your people and band together to innovate and co-create. Be aware of excess or extremes. Work together to build what has never been seen before. Yet as you see it come together, it's all too familiar, like a dream finally coming true. So that last line, like a dream finally coming true, is very much moving us into the Pisces energy. So the mutable water, which is the energy the moon is in all weekend as we're just coming into this new lunar cycle, is the dreamer, the mystic. So we will kind of have a dreamy, more mystical element to the practice today, with the idea that we are creating space for whatever this new moon energy, this new moon intention is to come up. So as you settle into your Supta Baddha Konasana, just start to deepen your breath. We're going to just move through a short body scan. The body scan is one of my favorite Pisces practices, the Yoga Nidra practice. Those are all associated with sort of the Pisces archetype. So just allow yourself to deepen your breath, to shift as you need to. And we're just going to start to sort of center ourselves in this new moon energy, in this watery energy, through the awareness of the energetic body, of the meridians. And so just feel the openness of the front body, the support of the back body. We are opening to this new moon wisdom and energy. Today is also the start of the Chinese New Year. Moving into the metal ox. The metal element is very much about dissolution and alchemy. Metal is associated with alchemy in Chinese elemental medicine. And so again, that idea of the dream and realizing the dream and waking up to the dream and being in that dream. So take a deep breath in through your nose, open mouth, exhale everything out. And then just focus your attention at the space between your eyebrows, the third eye point. In the language of Yoga Nidra, we refer to this as the Chittakash. This is the seat of unlimited potential and possibility. And so for a moment, as the body surrenders into this support, into the possibilities, into this dreamy state, focus on that third eye point and imagine that tiny, tiny, tiny sliver of the new moon. Just feel that pulsing at the third eye point, connecting us to the unlimited possibilities that this new moon cycle awakens as it is connecting us to a higher cycle and purpose. And just feel into that pulse, that little new moon magic at the third eye. And as your focus deepens, feel that little moon move from the third eye straight back to the space between the ears, the pineal and pituitary gland, the master glands. It's at the height of the ears and the midbrain. And again, just feel with the breath that little pulse of the breath, inhaling back towards the pineal pituitary and then exhaling back into the third eye. And then as we feel those master glands awaken for our new moon vision in this dreamy, intuitive space, as you feel back into the third eye, as you exhale, feel that moon energy move into the hollow of the throat. So straight down the face into the hollow of the throat. And that little pulsation of new moon possibility in the hollow of the throat. And as this energy moves from third eye to pineal to third eye down to the hollow of the throat, just note the quality. Does it feel like a breeze, a fresh breath? Does it feel like water? Does it feel like electricity? Does it feel like light? And whatever that energy is, feel it move from the hollow of your throat to the center of your right shoulder, down into the center of your right elbow, the center of your right wrist, and then extend it down to the tip of the right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. So the whole right hand and arm has this new moon energy pulsing down. And it moves from the tips of the fingers back into the right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, coming back to the hollow of the throat before descending into the center of the left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, the tip of the left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, pinky finger. The whole left arm, left hand, left arm lit up with this new moon potentiality. From the tips of the left fingers into the center of left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, back to the hollow of the throat as it then moves in whatever energy it's moving in your body down to the center of your heart. And as it connects to the center of the heart, again, you feel that activate up through the throat, the third eye, the pineal gland, down both arms. And again, all then gathering at the heart. And then to the right side of the chest, back to the heart, the left side of the chest, back to the heart, and then down into the solar plexus. Bring this new moon energy into the seat of our will and power, and then down into the navel center, our creativity and sensuality. And this new moon energy moves down into the right hip, the right knee, the right ankle, down into the right foot to the tip of the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. The whole right foot and leg from the tips of the toes up into the right ankle, right knee, right hip, that low belly point, and then down into the left hip, left knee, left ankle, down into the tip of the left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe. The whole left foot and left leg lit up with this new moon energy. Tips of the toes up through the ankle, the left knee, the left hip, gathering back at that low belly point and feeling the energy through the hips, down both legs, and then back up through the energetic center of the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, your arms, up into the third eye point and down into the midbrain. And in this Supta Baddha Konasana, you feel the whole body illuminated, innovated by this new moon dream, this new moon energy that again is moving through you in the way that is appropriate for you right now, the awakening of your own dream. Again, whether that's electricity or air or water or whatever energy your body needs, let it feel this surge through the body. And when the moon is in these higher energies, the higher consciousness, the dream, again, we don't need to work that hard to access it. We have to trust that this inner wisdom, this inner genius is within us all the time. And a lot of what the physical practice is kind of clearing out the stagnant, excess, no longer serving element so that we can, again, radiate that dream that is stirring, the midwinter dream that is stirring towards spring. Take another big breath in, feeling the currents of this new moon through your whole body, through all these powerful nerve-rich meridian points. Open mouth, exhale, empty out. And then slowly, you can draw the knees together, start to bring little movements. So as though you were moving in a dream, as though you were moving through water, as though you were moving through the cosmos, bring that quality of imagination and innovation and dreaminess to the practice today. Take your time to move and shift and slowly, slowly bring yourself up to sit. Now, of course, you can stay in Supta Baddha Konasana. You can stay there the whole class. But otherwise, coming up to a Sukhasana, crossing the right ankle in front of the left, if that's available for your body. Otherwise, just sitting comfortably. And you might sit up on something. And again, keeping that softness, soft gaze, soft eyes. Just let yourself find your seat. And as you come up to sit, just feel the sit bones root you into the earth, lengthen the spine. Inhale. And then as you exhale, place a hand over your heart, a hand over your belly. Give yourself a little rock and soften the gaze. Close the eyes if they're not already. And just arriving into this new lunar cycle. And again, the new year in the Chinese calendar, a very ancient calendar. And I do love how they move through the elements, how they move through their astrology with the entire, calendar. And so just feeling into that potential right now, that dream coming to life. And we will invoke this new moon with our mantra. And you can just listen or hum. Otherwise, we'll tone Om Chandraya Namaha, bowing to this new moon. Deep breath in. Om Chandraya Namaha. You can keep rocking, but as it feels appropriate, let your hands glide to your legs and slowly start to circle. So again, as though moving in water, a dream, out in space. Let the head and the neck go. And as much as you can, close the eyes, soften the eyes. What seeds are waking up and stirring? We're again just past the midwinter point, heading towards the spring equinox, slowly but surely. And this new moon cycle just beginning in the first, full day of it. And it is always very interesting when the new moon is sort of in the last degrees of a sign, and that does happen pretty often. And so we get that taste of potential, and then the moon shifts gears and we get to feel it in a different way. Go ahead and reverse the direction of the circle if you're circling. Again, let the head and the neck go, soft face. Breathe into the back body, into the kidneys, in the back of the heart. And maybe an awareness of the energetic anatomy from our short body scan. That's one of my favorite body scans when I only have like 5-10 minutes to sort of activate that awareness. It's the 61-point meditation. And so you can actually memorize the points and do it for yourself, lying in bed or sitting somewhere. And then as you're ready, next time the heart comes forward, bring your hands out in front of you. So moving into a little bit of hips today as well. So you can rock a little bit side to side, soften the jaw. And again, you can keep movement going if that feels right, especially when we're in this dreamier energy. Sometimes we need to stay very physical. And every new moon, depending on, your own elemental sort of blueprint, what's going on in your life. Sometimes we feel really inspired and energized by the new moon. Sometimes we're really in that tired space. We need that extra rest. Just honoring whatever's happening in your body. You breathe into the hips, low back, try to relax the heart. You're welcome to use any props that feel good. Take another deep breath in. And just let out an exhale. Walk yourself up. Take your hands behind you. Shrug the shoulders, soften your elbows, and just stretch your heart the other way. You can tuck your chin or roll the throat back. Take a big breath. And again, let it go. So if you are sitting in Sukhasana, go ahead and switch. So now the left ankle's in front of the right, or just make sure you're sitting comfortably for your body. Rock up onto the sit bones. Settle back into your body awareness. And then this time, inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, take the left hand behind you, right hand to the left knee, gently twist. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand to the left, outside left hip, right arm over, side bend. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, right hand behind you, left hand to right knee. Inhale up. Stay on that right side, right hand down, left arm under or over. Inhale up. Exhale, twisting left. Inhale up. Exhale, side bend left. So this is the little flow here I'm offering to continue to warm up the spine. But again, if you're finding that you're forgetting or it's not feeling natural, then allow that sequence to unfold for you. Again, that kind of moving through a dream. So you can play with that. What I'm suggesting is that we're kind of bringing that twist and side bend into the same side. But if that doesn't make sense, if that doesn't work, then find your own flow here. The function being that we're just warming up the spine. We're linking the breath and the body, playing with the asymmetry. And again, even just close your eyes and notice if the body has an easier time moving through the sequence or if it has a harder time. So sometimes when we're focusing too much on the physicality, we get in our heads. But when we allow ourselves to just kind of flow and breathe, it becomes more organic. And a lot of times too, in that space, then the body will let you know what it wants, which may not be what I'm offering in this moment. And that's always been my own truth in yoga too. Sometimes if I'm feeling really uninspired in my own practice, if I take a class with someone else, sometimes I realize very clearly what my body wants. And sometimes it's what we're doing and sometimes it's not. And so tending to the body's intuition, to its wisdom, that's going to help to develop our ability to recall our dreams, connect to our dreams, sort of access that inner vision. And then next time you come into a twist, go ahead and hold the twist. whatever version of it you're on. Doesn't matter which side, but just take a few good breaths here. You can rock and shift a little bit. Twisting is great for clarity and gently detoxifying. Again, the physical practice being sort of the container to clear out, to reflect. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, twist to the other side and hold. Settle your hips, soften your jaw, relax your face. Inhale. Exhale, unwind. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, come into a side bend. Again, doesn't matter which side you go to, just whatever side you naturally go to first. Top arm can be overhead, behind the head, behind the back. As long as we stretch both sides. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, other side. And again, adjust as needed. Soften the jaw, soften the face. Big breath. This time as you exhale, sweep your hands forward, second side of our hip opener, Sukhasana side 2. So you can be up on your hands, you can walk out to forearms, you can rock a little bit, sigh. And you can keep movement going if that's feeling better on your body. Deep breath in. Sigh it out. Walk it up, hands behind you. Just find that little bit of heart opening, that little glimmer of sort of that new moon opening. Soften the elbows, soften the jaw. Inhale and exhale, release. Good, extend your legs, give them a nice little shake. And let's come to all fours. So you might need to move your Supta Baddha Konasana things off the mat. And you can always have a blanket under the knees or have any props nearby that you might want to grab. Hands under shoulders and the knees under hips. Let's find some circles again. So starting with your hips, start to circle out your hips. And as you connect to that movement, we'll start to open up into the chest. And now again, we are playing with that sort of, landscape for imagination and intuition. So in that same way, you might, as we circle, your body might be like, you know what, I want to do some cat-cow, or I want to do bigger circles. And so there is a little bit of space here to innovate, to explore. You know, we're keeping a pretty simple sequence today, because again, very early in this new moon, we're in these higher sort of consciousness energies. And so again, we don't need to be overly physical to make that connection. And so again, just noticing with your breath, with your body, when we move into the more lunar side, which is the right brain, the creative, intuitive part of the brain, again, we want to trust that intuition, that dreaminess, that inner genius, inner mystic, inner guide. If you are circling, we want to make sure we go both ways. So, there is that awareness, though, that we are in the body. We want to maintain symmetry, ultimately. But then find the support. I was talking yesterday about, again, the practice being the container for whatever else is going on, whether we're releasing, whether we're remembering, whatever it is we're trying to practice or learn or unlearn. So just let yourself spend, some more breaths here and just move as the mammal in you wants to move. So a lot of mammals right now are starting to come out of their hibernation. It's a slow, dreamy process. This time of year is often connected to the energy of the bear, the dreamer, the hibernator. And then as the bear starts to wake up out of that winter dream, starts to move towards the spring and the light. And so again, we are mammals. We have that awareness in our blood, that need to rest, to hibernate, to dream, and then to slowly start to awaken towards the potential. And winter is not quite over, but it is almost, it's getting there. Take a few more good breaths, just feeling into where your body is in space, in place. And then as it feels right, gather yourself back into a child's pose, knees wide, big toes touch. You can have your forearms down or forehead. Rock, breathe. Just again, feeling that sense of surrender, sense of flow. Again, this is the last full week of Mercury retrograde, which was also in that Aquarius signature of this new moon. We have a lot of things in Aquarius. It was a very, very, very Aquarius new moon. But as I said, it was only really a few hours of the new moon in Aquarius before the moon moved into the mutable waters. So we need this dreamy, mystical space. Roll yourself up and then push back to a rag doll. So if you want to go into down dog, you can. Otherwise, just walk yourself back to, feet comfortably wide, knees soft, and just shake it out. You can rock side to side, sway. Close your eyes or soften them. Just find that letting go. Gently waking up the back of the body. And then if the feet aren't already, take them as wide as the mat. Turn your toes out. Soften the knees. As you inhale, lower the knees and open the chest. So you might only lower the knees a couple inches, and then exhale, extend. So you can always take your hands on a chair or on blocks. Inhale, bend the knees, lift the heart. Exhale, release. Just kind of staying with this pulsation. If you have a malasana practice, you can drop into malasana and then come back into that kind of rag doll. Or again, maybe it's just a couple inches. So we're getting a little bit deeper into the hips, keeping this quality of the forward fold, the turning in, a little more yin than sometimes the way we move through the squats. But you want to make sure you're sitting back into your hips. Using your breath. There's that little lift of the heart as you open and then release. Press through the four corners of the feet. The belly draws in towards the spine. A few more. And then again, the next time the legs extend, hold, turn the feet forward again if they were out, and bow over the legs. Soft knees, go ahead and roll yourself all the way up. The head is the last thing to come up. Roll the shoulders one way and the other. Draw the shoulders down, shake your head. And then keeping that softness in the neck, soften your knees and just take a little bit of windmill, just that little bit of twisting. Clearing out the auric space, letting the head and the neck go. Take another breath. Bring it back to center. And then heel toe the feet in just a little bit closer, about hip width distance. Soft knees, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees forward, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, open the heart. Exhale, bow. Again, soft knees, inhale, sweep up, reach up towards the new moon. Exhale, dive right back down. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, lift up again. Exhale, dive right back down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up, big stretch, hands to heart. And then step the feet wide on the mat, as wide as is comfortable for you. Once again, we're turning the feet out, softening the knees. Inhale, reach the arms up, lift up. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, gently bend elbows, bend knees. Again, inhale up. Exhale, down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend down, pause, open the chest. You can always take your hands to your heart. And you can rock here and breathe. So just breathing into your temple and warming up the hips a little bit, grounding. Inhale. Exhale it out. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, point the right toes to the right, turn the left toes in. Draw the hips towards the left, reach the right arm out for triangle. So right hand to the ankle or the shin. You can always grab a block or have a wall. Top arm can come straight up, overhead or behind the back. Soften the knees, roll your heart open. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, shift towards that front leg. Frame the front foot with your hands. Come onto the back toes. And then bend that back knee so you're in a low lunge. And then inhale, reach up for Anjaneyasana. Open your heart. Hands can be at the heart or reaching up. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, take your hands to the inside of the right leg. Lift that back knee and then walk into a wide leg forward fold. So point the toes forward. Inhale, lengthen up halfway. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, begin to bend into the left knee. Walk towards the left. Turn the left toes forward. So coming into that low lunge on the left side. Hips are facing that left foot. Inhale, reach up for your Anjaneyasana. Arms come up or hands to heart. Breathe here, bend into that front knee. Inhale. And as you exhale, release the hands down, lift the right knee, plant the foot, sweep the arms up into triangle on the left side. So left toes are pointing forward, left hand to left ankle or block, right arm up overhead or behind the back. Hug the legs and open the chest. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach up, point your feet again out in both directions. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees back into temple. You can always place the hands down. Take another breath. Sink in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach your arms up. Again, point the left toes to the left, right toes in, stretch out into that triangle on the left side again. Top arm up or overhead or behind. Roll your chest open, soften the jaw, take a big breath. As you exhale, frame that front foot. Lower the back knee so you're in that low lunge on the left side. Inhale up, Anjaneyasana. Arms up or hands to heart. Take a big breath. As you exhale, hands come to the inside of the left leg. Lift the right knee. Walk to your wide leg forward fold. Inhale here. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lengthen, bend into that right knee. Walk your hands towards the right. Turn the right toes forward. Framing that front foot, lower the back knee. Sweep it up, Anjaneyasana on the right side. Arms up or hands to heart. Bend that front knee. Open your chest. Big breath in. Exhale as you release, place the hands down. Lift the back knee, drop the back foot, open the left arm into triangle on that right side. You can use your block, hug in towards center, top arm up or down. Soften the face. Exhale. Inhale, circle it all the way up. Point your toes out. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees, hold. Soften the jaw. Take one more big breath here. Open mouth. Exhale. This time again, inhale, straighten up. Point both toes forward. Hands to hips or clasp the hands behind the back. Shrug the shoulders, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Option to add the chest expansion. You could also hold a shirt or a strap between your hands. Let the head and neck go. Make sure the toes are pointing forward, knees soft. Deep breath. Exhale, release the hands down. And just take a few breaths here. You can bend the knees and rock, or just allow the mild inversion, the hip opener. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen up. And then again, exhale, bend towards the right knee, turn the toes forward, place your hands, and then slide back to either down dog or child's pose. Or you could do something in between. Take about 3 breaths and just soften the gaze, close the eyes, feel into the body. And then either from all fours or down dog, we're gonna bring the right foot forward for pigeon prep. So you can always reach the right leg up and then bring it forward. Lower the back knee. As always, you could lie on your back and take sleeping pigeon if that makes more sense for you. Square the hips. You might put something underneath the back knee or underneath the front hip. You can stay up on the hands and move. You can lower to the forearms. Close the eyes. So wherever you are, whether you're on your back or whether you're in single-legged pigeon, can you close the eyes? Go back into that dreamier, waterier place. A lot of breath. Just feeling into whatever needs to be felt right now. If it's emotional, sensational, whatever it is you are in the process of releasing or remembering, creating. And there's a lot of potential right now. A lot of structures have dissolved and are continuing to transform. And, nature doesn't really do the vacuum thing. It fills space, right? So as we end things, as things dissolve, naturally things are coming up around it. We see that even in natural disasters, right? Like in these fires, as they're burning down everything on the landscape, underground, that heat is awakening new seeds and new energies. And as the earth shifts and changes, it awakens different things. Earthquakes create mountains, they create new shapes. Floods and tsunamis, the way they wash things away and then things pop back up where they were. And so we're in this cycle right now where there's a lot of dissolution and changing, but things are coming up and we have to bring a lot of consciousness and imagination and intention and a lot of work around being both present, but also really visioning the world we want to live in and the steps we take towards that. And it's a lot, and it makes us tired. So one of the big themes of this next cycle with a lot of the Pisces sort of overtone is rest and dream and renewal and healing. And the wisdom that's found there that allows us to take those steps towards spring. Take another deep breath into your hip opener. Open mouth, let it go. Slowly make your way up. And so we're going to switch sides, but just go ahead and take a yogi's choice to do that. So you can always, if you were in single-legged pigeon, you could take a down dog, a flow, some movement. If you're on your back, you can hug the knees in or even do a little bridge work. But we're going to just take about a minute or two to just kind of shift between sides. Breathing, stretching, just letting go. Again, feeling into the intuitive nature. And so the Chinese New Year, so again, metal is the alchemist, right? It's the transformative element. It's sort of the end of the cycle before it begins with the water into the wood. And then the ox, though, is reliable, it's grounded, it's steadiness. And so there is this quality that we are, alchemizing, we are transforming, but we want to do it in a sustainable way. As you're ready, come into the left side of your hip opener. And again, depending on your hip on this side, maybe it's single-legged pigeon, maybe you're on your back for sleeping pigeon. Using any support that feels good. Deep breath. Breathe into the back body, the kidneys, back of the heart. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. And again, start to make your way up. Another couple of moments of free form movement, or again, that can just be rest or stillness for you. And then when you're ready, we'll roll onto the belly for a few breaths. Feet hip width distance apart, forehead down, thumbs in line with the chest. And as you inhale, curl up into cobra. Exhale down. So let's just find a really slow cobra flow here. So big exhales to place the forehead down. Inhale, roll in slow motion. Again, that dream-like water motion. And if you work with a full cobra, Again, how slowly can you come up and down? Or if you work with a low cobra, again, same thing. How slow can you articulate? So feel the tops of the feet and the pelvis connecting, elbows hug in. And just breathe nice and slow through this extension. Relax your mouth, your face. And then hold your cobra, Bhujangasana. It can be low or high. Pelvis heavy, soft elbows, ears drawing back. And let's just take 3 lion's breaths. Inhale. Roll it down. Pause on your belly. You can make a little pillow with your hands. Rock your hips. And then slowly bring your hands under your shoulders. Roll to your knees. And then move on to your bottom. And on your bottom, bend the knees, feet as wide as the mat. So your feet are on the mat. So it's like squat, but we're not putting the weight on the knees. So sitting between the heels, arms to the insides of your legs. Roll your chest up. Press down through the 4 corners of the feet. Soften the jaw. Keep the right arm where it is. Take the left hand behind you, but keep hugging into center as you open your heart. And then you can bend that right elbow. So just nice open twist here. Hug the legs in towards center, soften the jaw. And then exhale, release both hands to the inside. Hold the legs, pull your chest up, press the feet down, breath in. Exhale, right hand behind you. Open the chest to the right, maybe bend that left arm, lean back. But again, try to keep the knees from splaying open. Deep breath. Exhale it out, come back through center. So you can hold the ankles or again, bring your hands into more of a prayer position. Feeling into the hips and the thighs, lift up through the chest. Inhale. Exhale, start to kind of round back and then draw the feet together. And as you press the feet together, find one more little set of circles or cat-cow, or even just rocking side to side. If you circle, go the other way. And then if and when you would like, you can draw the heart towards the feet for bound angle. Hands can hold the feet or elbows to thighs or reach your arms forward. You can always use props here under your forehead. And just let it go. And back body awareness, soft or closed eyes. Inhale and exhale. Roll yourself up. Hug your knees in. So if you would like to take legs up the wall or legs up the chair or legs up the bed, I would highly recommend that. Otherwise, you can either come back into Supta Baddha Konasana or you could lie in Shavasana. Or again, listen to the body. You know, if the body wants some more movement or if the body wants to sit in meditation. But we've got, you know, 5 or 6 minutes till I'll start to close off the practice. And so if you want to take that to rest, or again, if your body's still feeling like there's energy that wants to flow, but give yourself this space, this new moon window into this, you know, this interesting time. By now, it's obvious that we are in a cycle of disruption. There has never been a more important time to find your people and band together to innovate and co-create. Be aware of excess or extremes. Work together to build what has never been seen before. Yet as you see it come together, it's all too familiar, like a dream finally coming true. And so resting into whatever dream space is available for you right here and now. Resting into this new moon potential, letting everything else go. Notice where you are in the mental and emotional realms, or the wise, intuitive realms, wherever you sort of drifted off to in our moments of rest. Some of the reason conscious rest is so important, because the physical body can slow down, but then the emotional, mental, intuitive wisdom bodies, the energetic bodies can kind of unravel and reset when we allow sort of that space of stillness and listening. It's different than going to sleep, just being in a restful space. So honor yourself for taking some time tonight. We're just coming into this new moon cycle, feeling the possibilities of this next month and beyond. And as we move into this weekend, let yourself rest, let yourself dream, let yourself vision, tune into that inner mystic, inner genius. Maybe connect to the waters or the currents that call to you. Take a deep, full belly breath in. Open mouth, let it go. You can bring movement back if that feels good, or you might just roll to one side. Some days my body kind of wants to stretch and shift, and other days it wants to be as slow and still as possible. Again, how does your mammal body move out of its brief hibernation? If and when you would like, you can find a seat. We'll seal our new moon practice together. And so as you sit up nice and tall, you can place hand to heart, hand to belly, little rock. And you can tone 3 ohms. The first ohm for yourself, filling your cup. The second ohm is an offering. And the third ohm in gratitude to our Mama Earth and our Grandmother Moon. Deep breath. Inhale, draw the hands to the heart, rub the palms, take a deep breath in. So you exhale, stretch the left arm to the left palm up, right arm to the right palm down, as though we are stretching through our virtual boxes into our moon circle. Take a big breath, lift your heart. Then open mouth, exhale, hands to the earth, and we bow. All the new moon blessings. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.